Processing.
Here they come! We're not getting through! The control room should be off to the right. I hope we're doing the right thing.
I'm beginning.
Three switches. That'll be easy enough. 2 more.
Oh,
What'll happen to Miss McDevitt's folk if we send power to the Vale?
unexpected. Performing an area sweep now. Oh, in roast security.
Incoming!
Just leave me alone! Go away, Phantom!
System hit unexpected. Roast performing. Eliminated. Sanitation and cleanup.
Three switches. That'll be easy enough.
System. Beginning.
Incoming!
Oh, before investigate.
No, just leave me alone! You're not real. You're not real. You're not real. Get away!
A target blocked.
You're not real. You're not real. You're not real! You're not real! Get away from me, Phantom! Shoot! Scram! You can talk? The Phantom's never talked before. I knew I shouldn't have eaten that sprat raw. See? See, Higgins? This is why you must always boil your sprats before ingesting. Clearly, I mistook you for one of the phantoms of my imagination, which terrorized me on occasion. Chester D. Higgins. The D stands for definitely not insane. I use it as a reminder. Hard to say. By my reckoning, Higgins has been here somewhere between 2 weeks and forever. My recollection... Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat Wrangler, Saltunic. I've come a long way for someone who started... Jimmy'd opened the vending machines. That lasted a good couple of months. Eventually... Mechanicals lost their bolts. Opened fire on anything that moved. I was on cleaning duty at the time. My old boss had me scrubbing pipes when the killing started. I specialized in automechanical. Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the mechanicals. If they... You know, you remind me of myself back when I discovered a flaw. Their hostility levels were hardwired to maximum. There's no changing that, but you could rewrite their targeting protocol so they attack each other instead. Yes, that's exactly it. I see you're also There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. It should have options to change how the mechanicals act, including whom they shoot at. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the behavior control terminal. The tail. Definitely start with the tail. If you're feeling Forgot what you were gonna say?
Process 600.
Oh!
Aiming system failure. Located. Security. Sanitation and cleanup required. fault.
Get ready! Ah! Woo! We made it!
Processing.
Incoming! Don't mess with us. Nice one! You're liable to get scalded.
Resetting threat level. System alert. Security patrol.
Cut 'em off. Down they go! Where'd they go? If we send the power to Miss McDevitt, what happens to the veil? Something you need? You mean about the mission being too clean? I know, but Vicker says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches. The machine Vicker sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf. The Vicar's about the only soul in the Vale who spends his time thinking on what is and ain't right. It's just that when he looks at me, I feel I'd disappoint him.
Unexpected.
Watch out! Wow, not even a scratch! You got him! That's the last. Once we do this, there's no go- Excuse me, ma'am. Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do? I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all at once. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough Saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished. Miss McDevitt's built something beautiful. Somehow, she's talked the ground into giving life again. It's plain to see she's made the Vale a better place. Fed the hungry, tended the sick. Gave a home to those that had none. But Miss McDevitt delights in Edgewater's suffering. She wants to hurt the town. Do you really want to be party to that kind of hatred? Well, that sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work together in order to survive. I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Cutting off their power might be the only way. Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. I felt like I had to say something. Really? I mean, wow. Thanks. No one's ever told me those words in that order.
Processing investigated.
Look out!
Processing. Unexpected performing and
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it? You killed my garden, destroyed my community, sentenced my flock to a lifetime of slavery in Edgewater for a power regulator. Well, shit, I wish it was personal. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together. Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden. Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder, worker, don't matter. Edgewater Cemetery's got corpses of... My son worked in that cannery. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't, so I buried my boy in the cemetery.
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power. Whoa, Miss Parvati, you're,
Are you, are things safe?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so...
Oh gosh, no. I'm just...
I've seen you wandering around here. You don't look like... Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you... Fact is, I've been, well, lying. I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make... You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I...
Those are good. My dad kept a copy.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could... Would you? What's on your mind? Any luck find it? I've been thinking about going back. I get sick thinking about work. I mentioned those manuals on mechanical engineering. Suppose if I...
Marauders can't see us in the dark.
The matter's been weighing on. Fact is, I can't go anywhere long.
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our... I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. Go ahead. It is my job to keep... I wish you wouldn't... I expect you wouldn't understand. When I stand at my window and look out over mine, we are all part of the Spacer's choice. Go ahead. That you are not one of us may work... I admit... Scripture tells us we all have our purpose, and yes, we... Losing Adelaide was the hardest. Spacer's Choice Saltuna is renowned ever since Adelaide left. Go ahead. Adelaide was our only Were it up to me, friend, I'd stack... But, and this... Oh, we've scavenged together some organic material from the... Some of which possess a texture akin to a well-boiled slab of... I appreciate what you've done for us. I expected as much. I've been thinking about it. Then we are at an impasse. Steward, I am not perfect. I have made my... I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. The very notion is just grotesque. We are a Spacer's Choice. I don't understand. You say Adelaide's growing her own food. The soil's gone sour. Come. You'll excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil? And when you say special... What a remarkably efficient solution. Recycling Spacer's Choice So, Adelaide wants me gone. If I leave town, I am as good as dead. If I stay, Edgewater will die of attrition. If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, my life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. I'm sure Adelaide will be glad to see the back of me. I have always tried to do right by my town. A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has othered. No such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside.